Welcome to this overview of the Worcester County Public Schools 2018 Communications Survey results. Worcester County Public Schools understands and values the power of communication with all stakeholders. During the strategic planning process, when communication and collaboration was established as a strategic goal, a need was identified to use a research-based survey tool to measure communication effectiveness at the school and the school system levels. To that end, Worcester County Public Schools contracted with Scope Surveys to conduct a three-pronged survey that aligned to the National School Public Relations Association's rubrics for practice and suggested measures. The survey collected responses from three key stakeholder groups: parents, staff, and the community. This presentation will focus primarily on the faculty and staff and parent surveys, as the community survey did not reach a participation threshold for an appropriate margin of error. The Scope survey was administered online beginning on April 16th and closed on April 27th. While the survey was primarily completed online, some schools opted to utilize a paper pencil option for families who may not have had internet access at home to complete the survey. The survey was also offered in Spanish for our non-English speaking households. The first stakeholder group surveyed was our faculty and staff. We have never before measured the effectiveness of our internal communication. We received feedback from 621 employees, which was broken down by the demographics listed on your screen. A big takeaway here is the average number of parents and community members our employees interact with on a weekly basis. Over 8,000 members of our school system community are reached each week simply through communication with our employees. This number solidifies what we already know: our people make the difference. Each employee, no matter his or her role, tells our story, so we need to be sure to communicate effectively with our staff. As expected, participation in the faculty and staff survey was largely dominated by teachers, with 64% of participants identifying themselves as educators. Educational assistants was the next largest category at 13%, and several other classifications ranged from 1 to 6%. As you can see from the pie chart on the right, survey participants were fairly evenly spread among schools and the central office. When examining internal communications at the school or department level, employees indicate that they most rely on email, automated phone calls, and faculty and staff meetings to get information, whereas newsletters and social media are the least relied upon method of communication. Looking at internal communications at the school system level, the most relied upon means of communication for employees is again email, followed by automated phone calls and the school system calendar. Faculty and staff rely on our mobile app and Board of Education meetings the least for their communication. Employees have overwhelmingly said their preference for receiving school system communication is through email, with 65% of staff choosing that as their first preference for communication. Overall, Worcester County Public Schools faculty and staff rated both their overall satisfaction with communication as well as their perception of the school system based on communication at a 4.0 on a 5-point scale. In comparison, the highest rating a school system has received in these categories on the Scope survey is a 4.1. Additionally, in the 4 domains of the faculty and staff survey, Worcester County Public Schools scored highly across many of the key indicators. For example, communication from the school and office and school system levels has been rated as highly understandable, accurate, timely, and transparent. The second stakeholder group surveyed was our Worcester County Public Schools families. This year's parent survey saw 1,908 responses, which was broken down by the demographics listed on your screen. As you can see from the pie chart, survey participants were once again fairly evenly spread among schools. However, in a notable shift from prior years, the most populous schools, Stephen Decatur Middle and High Schools, collectively represented only 5% of responses in this year's survey. Looking at communications from the school system, the most relied upon means of communication for families is automated phone calls and texts and the school system calendar. Families rely on Board of Education and district-level meetings the least for their communication. Families have overwhelmingly said their preference for receiving school system communication is through the use of automated phone calls, texts, and email. The implementation of email usage at the school system level is being explored through utilization of our School Messenger Communicate platform. The SCOPE Parent Survey also focuses on communication parents have with teachers. In this domain, parents indicated that they most heavily rely on report cards or progress reports, backpack notices, and direct meetings with teachers for communication. Teacher web pages and social media are the least relied upon channels for communication between teachers and families. Overall, Worcester County Public Schools families rated both their overall satisfaction with communication and their perception of the school system based on communication at a 4.2 on a 5-point scale. Worcester County Public Schools captured the highest rating a school system has ever received in these categories on any administration of the SCOPE survey. Additionally, in the 5 domains of the parent survey, Worcester County Public Schools scored highly across many of the key indicators. For example, communication from the teacher, school, and school system levels has been rated as highly understandable, accurate, and trustworthy. While the community survey did not meet the desired margin of error for accuracy, we can still glean information from the data provided. For instance, pictured are the top 4 key areas in which Worcester County Public Schools scored highly on the survey. The community survey results score the school system at a 3.8 in overall satisfaction with communication and the perception of the school system based on communication. This is also on that same 5-point scale. Both scores were well above SCOPE survey averages. This data will be utilized both at the school and school system levels. Schools are using parent data to guide school improvement planning around Goal 2 of the Forward View 2022 strategic plan. As they develop SIPs, this data will be critical to ensuring we are reaching the public where they are and where they want us to be in terms of communication. At the county level, this data will guide overall strategy for communications and will drive how we communicate and interact with all of our stakeholder groups. Thank you, and please visit our website to see the full county-level executive reports from the Spring 2018 administration of the Worcester County Public Schools SCOPE survey.